viewers, and welcome to a new edition of Africa Today. In today's edition, we are going to shed light about Egypt's plan to implement an Arab-African trade bridge program in the current month of December. The Ministry of Trade and Industry announced that it will start implementing the Arab-African Trade Bridge Program, AATB, which was launched by the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, ITFC, during December 2020. More details in the following story by Abir Mitwali.
Minister of Trade and Industry Niveen Gamea announced that her ministry will start implementing the Arab-Africa Trade Bridges program, which was launched by the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation during this month. Gamea added that the AATB program will last until the end of September 2021. She noted that the program aims to enhance capacity of Egyptian exporters and encourage exporting to new markets in Africa. The minister said that the Export Development Authority would implement the program in Egypt in cooperation with the ITFC export councils and the Federation of the Egyptian Industries. Hani Selim Sombol, the CEO of the ITFC, affirmed the corporation's keenness to enhance cooperation with the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the EDA in Egypt, adding that the AATB program comes at the core of the corporation's strategy to promote trade in the continent. Roba Zayed, CEO of the EDA, explained that the AATB program aims to finance a number of export development programs implemented by the authority to support the access of Egyptian exports to African markets. Zaid pointed out that the program will start by holding a workshop in Cairo by the end of December 2020, followed by a number of workshops in Alexandria, Dumyot, Port Said, and Aswan for Egyptian companies in certain sectors. The training aims to raise awareness of export opportunities in the African market, as well as the technical requirements and specifications required to enter the promising African countries, and provide export planning and guidance services to educate the exporting companies about mechanisms of accessing African markets. Zaid further noted that the program targets some export sectors, including building materials, chemical industries, medical and pharmaceutical industries, engineering industries, printing, packaging, paper products, and furniture.
And to shed more light on that, we are very much delighted to have with us over the phone Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Ambassador Bayoumi, good afternoon to you. Ambassador Bayoumi.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. I hear you quite well.
Great, sir. Sir, Minister of Trade and Industry Niveen Gamea announced that her ministry will start implementing the Arab-African Trade Bridge, the AATB program, which was launched by the International Islamic Finance Trade Corporation. Can you shed more light about the Arab-African Trade Program, sir?
I must say first that half of the Arab countries are Africans.
Yes, indeed.
So we are a good part of Africa.
Yeah.
Africa also is the largest and the most important supporter to our cause politically and security-wise. And we have always the 50 countries voting with us in the United Nations.
Yes.
Because, of course, we were leading the efforts of Africa in order to, for the independence of their countries, and now it is a good history. We have a very good history behind us in Africa. Recently, we decided to go to economy and trade, and we established the COMESA, Common Markets for East and South Africa, 21 countries. And our relations with Africa is very good. We are the only country who led the African Union 4 times. Our president 4 times became the chairman of the African Union.
Indeed.
This shows exactly that we are the most accepted face in the continent. Afterwards, when our president, Fattah al-Sisi, became the chairman last year, 2019,
Yes.
we started a new effort in order to make one big African free trade area. The COMESA is only 21 countries, while the whole African continent is 51 countries. So we succeeded to sign an agreement in order to enlarge the free trade area to be representing all the African countries.
Yes.
1,200 million inhabitants. This is the largest market in the world.
Yes.
Still, we are in the early beginning of it, but we hope that this will lead us to much better situation.
Also.
The situation now that our exports to Africa increased 3 times in the last 10 years,
Yes.
that we aim for more and more. But I must be frank to you, this is not easy at all.
Yes.
Africa is at the beginning of its economic development and economic reform. We need many reforms to be there. We need many sectors to be developed. I am talking here about transport, maritime transport, airway traffic, and road traffic. Banking system, it needs to be improved a lot. You don't have first-class banking system in many African countries.
Yes.
All of this, we call it bureaucracy, and bureaucracy is not good for the health of the economy.
Of course.
That's what we are exploring our efforts in order to face all these problems, but slowly but surely, but I think we are doing fine. And Egypt is leading all these efforts with the help of many Arab countries also.
Yes.
Libya, before the last developments, was really doing quite good top in Africa. Morocco, also Algeria. All these countries are well represented in Africa. Now we hope that this will lead us to much closer relations.
Yes.
Not only in trade. Trade is very important, but not the only important subject. We need investment, and Africa needs investment. Why? I told you before that Africa is sending flow of money to Europe and the United States much more than it receives from those two continents. Why? They pay debt, they pay their import invoices.
Yes.
That's why Egypt is leading an initiative to ask those leading countries in Europe, in United States, China, and Japan to invest in Africa much more than now with the Egyptian experience. And now we have the Egyptian Fund for a partnership in Africa.
Yes.
It is a very good idea, but it lacks finance.
Yes.
Now we are trying to find finance from everywhere in the world, and thank God that Europe accepted this, China accepted that also, and Japan. So it needs much more effort, and many of us who have the experience in Africa can give a hand for this target, and I'm quite sure that we can do it.
Indeed. Ambassador Bayoumi, Minister of Trade Naveen Gamea, said that the program aims to enhance actually the capacity of the Egyptian exporters and to encourage exporting to new markets in the African continent. How do you view this, and what new markets do you expect us to open in Africa, since Africa needs, of course, more export from Egypt and more trade and more exchange of trade between Egypt and many African countries, actually?
As I said, it needs huge effort in order to penetrate the African market. This is not easy, but we have to do it. And one big obstacle that our exporters, they find that it is much easier to go to Paris or to Frankfurt or Berlin, much more than going to Cameroon or Yaoundé or Kenya. The transport is one big obstacle. I was ambassador in Cameroon, as you said, as you know, and to go from Cairo to Cameroon, it takes 2 hours by direct plane. But I did it always in 3 days because I have to sleep a couple of days in Lagos or a couple of days in Nairobi in Kenya. This must be changed. Otherwise, as a businessman, I do not have much time to wait in order to go to find how to do the business. This is, I am sorry to tell you all these details, but I'm trying to put you with me in how the situation is not that easy.
Indeed.
So let us try, let us start, and I think it's not impossible at all, and we can do it.
Yes, hope so. Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister, always a pleasure to have you with us, sir. Thank you very much for your precious input. And moving on, our dear viewers, to Sudan, where Egypt has sent additional medical supply shipment to Sudan as part of its efforts to combat COVID-19. Egyptian medical professionals have also arrived in Sudan to help contain the coronavirus. More details follow.
Egypt has sent additional medical supplies shipment to Sudan as part of its efforts to combat COVID-19. Egyptian medical professionals have also arrived in Sudan to help contain the coronavirus. Egypt is keen to support the health sector in Sudan and strengthen the government's work by providing direct support to medical workers, including doctors and nurses, and offering equipment to combat the pandemic. The COVID-19 has been reported in Sudan since 13th of May 2020, and up to the 3rd of July 2020, there have been 9,894 confirmed cases and 616 deaths, with a 6.6% case fatality rate. Egypt has sent several batches of aid to Sudan as part of an ongoing aid airlift operation launched upon the directive of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to help the Sudanese people deal with the pandemic. In addition, Health Minister Haile Zayed earlier traveled to Sudan to offer assistance, accompanied by a 20-strong team of doctors with different specialisms, as well as a number of nurses and experts in epidemic control.
A statement by the presidency said that President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi affirmed current support for the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, during its upcoming presidency of the African Union. More details follow.
In the framework of Egypt's support to Democratic Congo to chair the African Union in 2021, a Congolese delegation visited Cairo to explore ways of cooperation, particularly training of diplomatic cadres and coordination over African affairs. Minister of Foreign Affairs Sameh Shoukry received on December 16th the coordinator of the unit in charge of the Democratic Republic of Congo's upcoming chairmanship of the African Union for 2021, Professor Alphonse Luabo. Spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Ahmed Halfi, stated that the meeting comes in the framework of the Congolese side's preparations for its upcoming chairmanship of the African Union and its keenness to benefit from the successful Egyptian experience in this regard, in light of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's assumption of the AU chairmanship in 2019. Hafiz added that the meeting discussed means to support the upcoming Congolese AU chairmanship on the substantive, technical, and logistical levels in coordination with the concerned ministers and national authorities, with the possibility of training Congolese cadres in various relevant themes such as protocol and conferences. As Shoukry expressed in this regard Egypt's eagerness to contribute through its expertise in supporting the DRC during its mandate in light of the excellent bilateral ties binding the two sisterly countries. The meeting also addressed the historical relations between Egypt and the Democratic Republic of the Congo and aspects to promote and support them in various areas of bilateral cooperation.
Well, with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of this edition of our program Africa Today. Hope you have enjoyed it. Until we meet again, I'm Maïsia Rabia signing off and wishing all our dear viewers a very good day. Thank you for watching.